Now we're going to look at, start doing some material editing here in Unreal. So we're going to select one of the objects, and when we select it, we see here on the right that it tells me which material it is. I can just double click on that material, and it opens a new window, right, where I get the details of that material. At the moment, that material only has a texture sample, which is the brick texture that I already assigned in Rhino and imported together with the model. And that is linked as the base color, as the basic appearance of the material in this material. It's what's called a base brick, where I have all the different parameters of the material. So we're gonna go ahead and start by looking at the first parameter, well, the second parameter after the base color, which is metallic. Most of these parameters work on a scale from black to white. So we need to assign a color in between black and white in order to give this metallicness a value. In order to input a color parameter, a color value, I need to bring in a 3-point parameter. For that, I can hold number 3 on my keyboard, and whilst I'm holding 3, I can click, and then I get this 3-point parameter. When I double click here, I can see that it's a color, right? I can alter those values and make it any color, but at the moment, we're just gonna leave it black. And we're gonna connect that to metallic. And we see that nothing has changed here. It's because black means that the metallicness will be at 0. So if we double click and we make it white, we now can see that the object has changed and that it has a metallic appearance. Perhaps it's easier to see this with a texture sample instead, so that we can see how different areas are assigned different values. For that, I can right click anywhere in here and type in texture, and then I would see here the texture sample. Yeah. And we're gonna import a black and white image. It can be anything. Now we're just working with this example. So first of all, I'm gonna move this out and bring it in here as another tab, so I can easily move in between my window and the base brick. So I'm gonna go back to here in the content browser and go to the textures, and I'm gonna import a new texture. I have created these two textures that are black and white with just a stripe for us to see through this example. So I'm gonna import both of them. Okay. And remember, I'm importing them into the textures folder. This is important that you keep things organized, right? So remember that for the metallicness, white means that the object is metallic, black means that it's not. So for example, I'm gonna use now the white line over black background texture. So I select it here, and then I just go to my texture sample, and I click on this little arrow, which means that it will assign my selected asset. So that has been assigned. It will appear over here. And now I'm gonna plug this to the metallic finish, right? It will replace this color that we're now not really using anymore. So what we see now is that the part of this diagonal line going across the material, I can change and visualize it as a cube so that it's clearer. This diagonal has a metallic finish, whilst the rest of the surface doesn't. So with that, you understand what metallicness is, and also how to use these like black to white gradients to assign value.